Hello, I'm Sage Wilson, part of the team here at VR Workforce Studio, inviting you to join us for the National Clearinghouse Report, featuring all the latest news, updates and information in VR, with Rick Sizemore and Heather Servais.
We're warming up here in the studio with Heather Servais, the one and only. Entertaining and informative. Well, welcome to the podcast, Heather. It's always a pleasure to have you involved in everything that we're doing, especially this National Clearinghouse for Rehabilitation Training Materials report. Welcome to the show.
Hi, Rick. Great to be with you. Happy International Podcasting Day.
Absolutely. Tuesday, September 30th, International Podcast Day.
I love celebrating that with you every year. It's awesome.
Yeah, as we get ready for National Disability Employment Awareness Month, the two I say they're neighbors on the calendar, so it's a lot of fun. What do you have in the clearinghouse for us today?
Got a couple new resources for you. The first is an on-demand training called Project Management for people who are not project managers. And this was created by us at NCRTM. And if you think about all of the VR professionals that we have, whether you're a counselor or you're a service provider or you're a VR supervisor, you're probably juggling a lot of different initiatives. You're coordinating services, you're driving outcomes, you're working with customers. And so you're doing a lot of project management tasks and concepts and probably not even realizing that you're doing it. And so this training really helps folks who are doing project management tasks in the course of their works, but aren't trained or certified project managers really think through the project management process and how to initiate, plan, manage, and close a project effectively. And it helps you explore some of these practical strategies that you can apply in your day-to-day work. And the best part is that for those CRC counselors, it is available for 1 CRC credit.
Well, and people love that. And counselors constantly need to attend to that. So it's wonderful that Clearinghouse offers so many options for you to sustain that engagement with your own development as a counselor.
Yeah. And then the second resource I have is another on-demand training. And this one is called Introduction to Section 508, What It Is and Why It's Important. And this was done by New Additions Consulting, Inc.'s Disability Innovation Fund Technical Assistance Team. And this is an on-demand training session that's intended to provide an overview and introduction to Section 508 of the U.S. Rehabilitation Act of 1973. So when you hear 508, a lot of folks really aren't familiar with what that is, but it's the law, and that helps make sure that content is accessible for everyone, including people with disabilities. And so this training goes over the purpose. It explains why Section 508 is important. It describes who's impacted by Section 508 and helps the folks who attend this training identify information and communication technologies. And really think through whether the content that they are creating or consuming aligns with Section 508.
You know, across the spectrum of compliance in business and government, wherever those opportunities for communication and accessibility exist, this sounds like a really important resource for people to dial into.
Yeah, it really can be for the counselors who are interested in making sure the resources that they're sharing with their customers are accessible, or even for those that are working in VR agencies or working with service providers who are creating the content for people with disabilities. It's going to be so important that you have some basic understanding of Section 508 and importantly, where to find resources so that you have something to turn to when you are creating some digital content.
Right. And you and I have said, and I've heard you say, I didn't know what I didn't know until you got into this training.
Exactly. I've been working in this field a really long time. And you think you know things, and then you find out all the things you don't know. And the accessibility in Section 508 was one of those things where I didn't know what I didn't know until I started working
here. Check that one out for sure.
Absolutely. And then the last resource I have is a new NCRTM material spotlight video featuring the Alabama Parent Education Center resources on vocational rehabilitation. And these material spotlight videos are usually just short, anywhere from 2 to 5 minute videos going over different materials we have at the NCRTM. And this video features two products that's really designed for individuals with disabilities and their families. The first is Understanding VR Services. So, for those that are not yet familiar with VR, it goes through what to expect and what it is. And then there's a great resource called Questions for Your First Visit with a VR Counselor that lays out some questions that families or the individual with a disability who's getting ready to meet with their VR counselor can consider so that they really make the most of that first appointment and understand the process and really are able to share the most effective information to help guide that process. Um, One of the great things about this material spotlight link that'll be in the show notes is it's going to connect you to the resource in the NCRTM library. And by clicking there, you'll not only have access to the video, the material spotlight video, but you'll also have links directly to those primary sources. So you'll be able to link to the Understanding Vocational Rehabilitation Services and the questions for your VR counselor. So you can get all of three of those right with one click. And so for VR counselors, this might be something you want to share with your customers before they walk in through the door. So they have time to start and think and prepare. And the Understanding VR is a great outreach material also to help prep and prepare those prospective customers who are considering VR. Helps get them on that path.
Yeah. I want to do a little bit of rehab rewind here from our episode 133 when you talked about the training resources that are available for captioning and how that is to be done. That is an exceptional video. So I would ask people, if you do captioning or you're concerned with captioning, check out that resource as well. Always great to have you on the show. I have to also put in that plug for the numbers of rehab counselors that I talk with who use this Clearinghouse as an icon on their desktop. The things you talked about, finding those source documents, that's such a unique feature of what the Clearinghouse does. And we are so grateful to you and the team at NCRTM for keeping all of those important sources and the training and the news and the updates at our fingertips for vocational rehabilitation. Hats off to you and the team at NCRTM, Heather.
Well, thank you so much, Rick. We appreciate it.